What stories did you hear from some of these people that were working back at Charlotte when it was segregated to a point? And like, what knowledge did they impart on you, and how did they encourage you to continue in the profession as a Black librarian?
Sure. Well, actually, I got to work with Allegra Westbrook. Believe it or not, I'm going to turn 60 Saturday, June 1st, and I
Happy
got.
birthday! You do not look 60.
Yeah, I know. So I got a lot of wear and tear on me, but believe it or not, I actually got to work with Allegra Westbrook back at the North Branch Library because they built a North Branch, South Branch, East and West, and the North Branch was on Betty's Ford Road, which you know is an African American community. And she filled in for my manager, who was Vanessa Ramsor. So I got to work with her. She was a kind woman. She shared a lot of advice with me about just working in the library and also just, about social life and things like that. But she was very supportive. I stayed in touch with her as my career grew over time. Even when I was at the main library, she would come to programs and things like that. And was always at that time very supportive. We even brought her niece on. In the division that I worked in, reference at main library. But Miss Westbrook's Dot Person, who was at all of these women worked at the North Branch, and many of them worked at the Brevard Street branch, which I'm sure you know was the first African American library. Everything was segregated. A lot of times people didn't even want to touch or use. Say, for instance, if an item was sent to the they call it the B Street branch because of the Brevard Street branch or the North branch, they didn't want it back. They didn't want it back once it came into those branches, is what I was told. And so they worked together trying to build good libraries. Like I said, when we opened the library on West Boulevard, um, um, Robbie just used the knowledge she had, the resources she had. A lot of things we had were in paper files because we didn't have the databases that they had somewhere else necessary. So she built from what she knew, files and resources that she had saved. And we were able to do homework help in so many ways. But they always imparted, especially with another African American working in this field, a sense of pride, a sense of always go beyond. And I felt like I've always just worked harder and harder because I've had to live up to their legacy. But they've always imparted, go above and beyond. People need you. And I've seen that over my career. And I think that's why I'm still in libraries now. I could have retired 10 years ago. I have 40, it'll be 43 years in August 1st of service. I could have retired a long time ago. But even in this role I'm in now as excess services manager, there are a lot of times I get to say yes, whether it be a meeting room, whether it be a resource, whether it be bringing a program to the library or to your community. I met a pastor at a African American church recently that wanted a digital inclusion program. I was able to bring it to his congregation several years ago, and we will bring that program to his congregation again. But I have a lot of opportunities to say yes and to open doors. And that's what they told us. Create the opportunities, take advantage of where you can help, and don't necessarily look at what the limitations are. Find opportunities to take advantage of. And I've always tried to do that over all these years.